So Napa is an area that is really founded on small family wineries. The majority of the wineries here are indeed small. Nearly 80% of Napa Valley wineries make less than 10,000 cases a year. 67% produce less than 5,000 cases a year. And 95% of them are family owned. Now, I work for Constellation Brands, which is a large parent company, but we own Robert Mondavi Winery, Franciscan, and as well as Mount Vita Winery. And each of those, even though they're owned by a corporation, have a family-like environment. People have worked at these wineries for years and years and years. And that sense of family, small-knit community is something you find throughout the Napa Valley. It's very special. So if we want to talk a little bit about Napa, it's definitely is one of the most diverse areas in the entire world. You know, we'll use this term terroir today. Terroir is a somewhat a difficult term to define, but it does speak to the essence of the wines that are produced in a given region. It has to do with the climate, the soil, the geology, the aspect to the sun. It talks about the different grape varieties and how that influences what you make as a wine. So this is something that Napa is lucky to have, such a diversity of soils and climates that it can produce many different varieties, although it's focusing on the Bordeaux varieties. So how did this all get started? You know, we want to look at Napa and give you a little background on the formation, just so you know that it does have a wonderful history and how things came to where they are today. So it really starts about 150 million years ago, when there were a series of geological events that caused the shifting and the sliding and this lifting of land throughout the coast of California. These events emerged to produce a diverse set of bedrock, which is now the coast of California and northern California in particular. About 80 million years ago, we had this movement where the Pacific plate came up underneath, or what we call subduction, underneath the North Atlantic plate. This caused the magma, the hot liquid center of the Earth's core, to be pushed upward, creating volcanoes throughout the California coast. At the same time, parts of the Pacific Ocean were being plastered onto the coast of California as well. So we call this whole movement, as this ensued, created two different types of sequences of soil. So we have the Great Valley sequence, which is typically what we find in the valley of Napa Valley. The Franciscan Formation is that which has an influence from the marine life, from the ocean. And then, of course, we have volcano activity as well. So you can see in this picture here how that subduction of the Pacific Ocean plate pushed up the volcanic nature of the coast of California, and this created the Sierra Nevada mountains. Then, if we go back to about 25 million years ago, we had a shifting of what we call a triple junction, with the Farallon plate moving along with the Pacific plate and the North Atlantic plate. This created what is famously known today as the San Andreas Fault, which goes up and down the coast of California. Whenever we have earthquakes, we had one here in Napa a couple years ago, which I think woke all of us up at about 3 o'clock in the morning. But this created what we now know as the coastal mountains. The coastal mountains range from 400 feet to up to maybe 1,500 or 1,600 feet elevation, whereas the Sierra Nevadas are up to 7,000 feet elevation. So this created also some new volcanic activity and really started to create the Napa Valley as we know it today. That was further influenced by about an event that took place 5 million years ago. So new volcanic activity emerged in the area which was to become Napa. And if you can see here, I'll use this pointer. You can see this area down here. This is what we call the Great Valley sequence. The magna is the volcanic activity that has outcroppings throughout Napa Valley. And the Franciscan Formation, which you see here, again, that was the types of soil that were formed from the ancient seabed that was plastered on the California coast.